I once had a problem where I needed to break bricks apart in a simulation in a castle building simulation. In this castle building simulation, I needed to have the user build the castle and then have the castle be sieged. And the siege needed to be as physically realistic as possible. So we were using Unity to be the engine we were using, which already has a good physics engine in it. And Unity is a game design platform. It's got some available packages for this, for destructible walls and for destructible items. So I looked into using those. I had multiple ideas of how to do this. I would build a model and then degrade the model, but I don't have much Blender experience, and I'd rather do the solution programmatically rather than through building and destroying models or something of that nature. So the next solution I had was to find something in the store. There were a lot of ideas in the store, but most of them were to build at runtime and then to build in the design environment and then destroy at runtime. So the walls would already be there. It was like a first-person shooter could destroy the walls. So there was no simple solution of either. The Unity engine didn't necessarily come up with a great way of destroying walls, and the solutions from the packages was to build in the game design environment and then destroy in the runtime. But I needed to build in runtime and destroy the walls in runtime. So the solution was to combine different aspects of this. So initially we used what was in Unity. We built in 2D what we had baseline. So we could build, initially our idea was to build in 2D and then render in 3D. I would have the user destroy walls by making blocks disappear rather than fall down. So it was pretty easy to just, as soon as enough hit points were maxed, the brick would disappear and any effects from that may be felt at that point. So that wasn't great because it didn't necessarily affect other bricks enough. So I decided to integrate aspects from other solutions. I found a good solution on the Unity Marketplace. I was able to reverse engineer that solution and then use what they had done and figure out how they had done it and apply it to mine so that the user could build in runtime, build in 2D, and then render in 3D, and the walls would be destructible. They'd be highly customizable where they could use many different materials. So, and from anywhere from wood to stone to bricks or anything like that. So then we had to test the solution, we had to destroy the towers and walls, and then we ended up destroying different materials in our testing. And it worked pretty well. So the results, we ended up with a good destructible wall. It integrated multiple aspects. It was buildable at runtime, and the bricks don't disappear, but they fall down. It required testing. I had to have multiple sizes of bricks, from little tiny bricks to big stones, and materials, so lighter materials to heavier materials. And then I had to alleviate some problems that we had, such as too many bricks being affected. I had to figure out how we could narrow it down to just the bricks we used. And then it satisfied the requirement, basically. The walls get destroyed, the physics are followed very closely, and it's highly customizable. So like I've repeated a few times, it was able to use multiple materials and use those materials and act differently based on the material. So what would I do differently next time? I'd probably tackle a problem earlier. This problem took a lot more time than expected. We were running up on the due date, and the fact that it took instead of just taking 2 weeks, I think it ended up taking 6 weeks. So I thought it'd be a simple thing to figure out, but figuring it out and then iterating on it took 6 weeks. I'd seek advice from my team members earlier. They were able to find some things in the marketplace that I wasn't able to, and they were able to come up with some solution. They were able to help me with the solution. And it's just more minds should be able to come up with better ideas, so I can throw something at them and they can respond to me and say what they would do. And then I would do additional searches in the store finally. The store in Unity is really big, so I could use different things in that store and maybe find a better solution, more ideal solution, without spending time redoing what someone has already done. So thank you for listening.